Hey cuties! So today I wanted to sit down and make a serious video. Huge disclaimer, I am completely fine. I'm 100% healthy. So I'm just gonna get into a story that I experienced a few days ago this week. Quite horrific at the actual time, but then it was actually explained to me from a doctor and I was like, what? Okay, so let's just go. Pink speaks. Okay, so a few days ago, my boyfriend and we had a chill night at home. So like we didn't even go out with friends, we didn't go out anywhere, we just had, he came home from work a little late, I think that was why, and then we just made supper, ate, watched some TV, and then we watched Prison Break, because Prison Break is like one of our new loves, like I love Prison Break. And we were on the last episode of season 1, and we were watching it. I felt completely fine, It was really hot in the house, so I was just like feeling like just a little hot, but not sick, not like, oh my god, like I'm feeling really like hot. No, it was just like a little bit hot, like right now, it's a little bit hot in my house. Anyways, so we were just chilling, watching. It was about 10 minutes until the episode was over, and I started to feel then just a little sick. Like almost like kind of like a blah sick. And I was like, oh, whatever. So then I just continued to watch. And then when it was over, I said, do you want to go to bed? And my boyfriend said, yeah. So I went to go take off my makeup to get ready for bed. As soon as I stood up, I was like, oh, I'm actually really not feeling well, right? Whatever. I didn't even say that because I just wasn't feeling good. So I went, and then this all happened, I want to say, in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes, okay? Because there was 10 minutes left of Prison Break. I was feeling a little sick. And then when it ended, I went to the washroom, and then as soon as I started to wash my face, I started to feel really sick. So it kind of escalated in like a 5-minute period of me feeling like completely fine, and then all of a sudden like really sick. So I'm washing my face and I'm feeling horrifically sick now. I have to kind of like bend and double over, and I'm like washing my face. I'm like, oh my god, like I really don't feel good. So I'm like quickly washing my face and then pat it dry, put the lotion on, whatever. And then I'm like, holy, so my stomach hurt a lot. I thought I had to poop. Sorry if this is TMI, but it shouldn't be because it's like, like your body, human body. So I'm like, oh my god, so I just sat on the toilet, and then as soon as I did that, I was like, oh my god, no, I have to puke. So I stood up, turned around, and no, I have to poop, and nothing came out, I wasn't puking and pooping, I just thought that. So I sat back down again, I'm like, oh my goodness, and then so I went out of the bathroom. I said to my boyfriend, because he was waiting to go to bed, I said, Dalton, I don't know if I should say my boyfriend or Dalton, because you guys know who he is, so I'm just going to say Dalton. Dalton said, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I said, I'm feeling really sick, so I'm probably going to be in the bathroom all night, is what I said to him, so you can go on to bed, I'll come up in a bit, because he has to work in the morning. It's already almost, it's 11:45 now-ish, and he has to work in the morning, so I was like, no, I'm fine, I'll just sit here and probably, I said I'm gonna puke all night, feels like. So I go back in the bathroom, and when I walked back into the bathroom, it's like my pain it's like pain sickness just in my stomach, in my lower stomach, started to get a lot worse, and I was like, oh my god, this is horrible. And then I went to almost puke, and I gagged a bit, and then I just laid on the bathroom floor and grabbing my stomach, being like, oh my god, so painful, and I was just like, ugh. And every breath that I would breathe out, so I'd be like, ugh, sorry, real sexual. Every breath that I would breathe out, I'd be almost an agony. Almost it's like something needed to come out of me, either puking or pooping, whatever. So I was in really a lot of pain. And then when I was laying on the bathroom floor, shouldn't do this, but I was like, I'm gonna Google my symptoms. Don't Google your symptoms, go to a doctor. If you're having that much pain, go to a doctor. But I was like, I'm just gonna Google it, right? And my phone was laying right beside me. So I grabbed my phone, and I'm laying on the ground like this, and I started Googling my symptoms. And when I started to do that, my fingertips went a little numb almost, right? I had no idea whatever, so then I started Googling more numb fingertips is not what I'm Googling, intense pain in the stomach, escalating really quickly, I felt completely fine before, nothing was popping up on Google, and then, oh shooksy, nothing was popping up, and then all of a sudden my whole hand went very tingly and numb, and I was just like, what the heck? So I had to put down my phone. I actually put down my phone, and then my boyfriend came in the room. Well, he was in the room with me in the bathroom when I was Googling, because he's like, are you okay? And my fingertips just went numb. And then I'm just sitting there, and then my my mouth started to feel a little numb, and I started to talk, and it was almost like my speech was a little slurred, and it felt like I couldn't like move my mouth, like it was numb. Like, you know, you go to the dentist. I've been to the dentist. I've never had freezing at the dentist, what I was gonna say. But it felt like that. Like, I felt like my mouth was completely numb, and my tongue was like really heavy and really numb, and my hands were really numb. Like, I was just like almost paralyzed. Why are my hands going numb? I told him, like, why are my hands going numb? And he's like, well, look. And then I'm like, I feel like they're floating. Like, I couldn't feel my hands. Like, they're all tingly. And then they just went completely numb. And then they were like, I can't even do it, but they were like this, like flipped up. And I wasn't flipping them up. They were like that. And so I'm like laying on the ground like this, and I'm like numb, and I'm like numb in the mouth like that, and I'm like, what's happening to me? And I said, I need to go to the hospital. I need to go to the hospital. Like, my hands, and then my toes, and then my mouth went completely numb. And I was so scared. My stomach ache, my stomach sickness that I had, completely gone. Because all I could focus on, and all my body could focus on in that moment, was me going paralyzed. So I thought. I can't even stress to you enough, and I'm not being dramatic. I was one of the most scared I've ever been in my life. I did not know at all what was happening to my body, and that's why I'm making this video, to like help you guys and, you know, to know the warning signs of what this is, and it's not even a big deal at all. But anyways, I'm just gonna keep going, and it feels like the biggest deal ever. Like, I've experienced sicknesses before, whatever, but this, I won't ever want to experience ever again. I all of a sudden couldn't even move, and I said, I need to go to the hospital, I need to go to the hospital, and I was like, then freaking myself out. Like, I was like freaking out because I couldn't control anything on my body. I couldn't control my hands. I couldn't control my mouth. I was just like going paralyzed, and then I was just like stuck like this. And he's like, get your shit, let's go. And I said, I need my health card. Like, I needed my health card to go to the doctor. Like, you can't just like go in there. So he's like grabbing my purse, grabbing my stuff, and like running out the door. And like, I just was slowly going out of the door. And then I remember just like dropping on the front step. I don't even remember anything. I was kind of just like frozen in time. All I can remember is just looking at the night sky, and my whole body was like numb, like this. And I was just sitting like this. So it only was like 2-minute time, but I don't know what happened because I was frozen, basically. Dalton told me what happened. Basically, I collapsed on the front step, and I couldn't move, and I was paralyzed. I was unconscious. Dalton said. He said, like, we need to get in the car now. Like, he was so worried about me because, like, I couldn't move, and, like, nothing was even like, oh, I'm feeling a little sick. Like, it was like, bam, bam, bam. I'm really sick. I'm about to throw up, and now I'm unconscious and paralyzed. Like, he was freaking out. So then he's like, let's go, and I couldn't walk. I couldn't move. I was unconscious. Okay, Shugsy. Sorry, the cat's just trying to on me. And he had to pick me up and scoop me up and put me in the car. Okay. Before I collapsed on the front step, I'm just gonna scroll back because I was still awake and knowing what was going on, barely. But as soon as that happened, I said, Dalton, I love you, because I honestly thought I was going to die. Honestly thought I was going to die because I'm really sick, I'm about to throw up, and then I'm like paralyzed, and my whole world was like going white and fuzzy and like closing in on me. So I thought I was dying. Like, I legitimately thought, I've never thought this ever, that I was actually gonna die. I thought I was gonna die in that moment. And I said, Dalton, I love you, and everything just went shh. And I guess that's when I went unconscious. I don't know. Anyway, so then that's when I collapsed on the front step. Okay, now fast forward. So he puts me in the vehicle. I don't even know if he locked the door. I don't even know if he grabbed my purse or anything, or, you know, if the animals are inside, if they didn't come. I don't even know what's happening. So he, you know, gets that and starts speeding to the hospital. So we're speeding to the hospital, and still I don't even know what's going on. And then apparently he hears me coming back to consciousness and going, and like my hands were still completely numb. I was like this. And he said that my breathing was so slow. I was breathing like I was breathing that slow, and he was freaking out. It was almost like I just snapped back to reality, and my hands were still really numb. I was like this, and then I'm like, I was like puke, like, and then I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So I opened the door to his Jimmy, and I'm like, going like that, and he goes, no, just like roll down the window if that's better for you, instead of like leaning like that. So I'm rolling down the window. Apparently I wasn't even rolling down the window. He told me he was rolling it down. Like, I wasn't even anywhere near the window roll down. And then I just threw up outside the window, like, bleh, bleh. And I'm like throwing up, right? And then as soon as I threw up, my hands started to go back to tingly. They weren't no longer numb completely. They were tingly a bit. And I could actually like move my mouth, and I was like, oh, I think I'm okay. I think I'm getting better. Like, I think I'm okay. And my stomach ache was completely gone. I didn't have a sick stomach at all. I was sorry, the animals are running around in here. So I was like, I don't think I need to go to the hospital anymore. And he's like, yeah, we're going to the hospital. Like, just because you're feeling okay now, this could be a serious issue. So we get out of the car, and his Jimmy, the side of his Jimmy, is like covered in puke. I washed it off the next day. Like, I washed that to Jimmy the next day. But I was like, oh my God. So we went in there and told the person exactly what was happening, went into the emergency department, and I waited in the waiting room for like almost an hour. And by that time, just like waiting in the waiting room, I was feeling better. I felt almost completely better, and I'm like, I was still a little I was very shaky. I couldn't control myself. Like, I was like really my legs were like this. People were looking at me really weird, and I kept saying to Dalton, like, people are gonna think I'm a drug addict. Like, I come in here, like, my hair's all, like, up like that. I was in, like, a dress, and I'm, like, shaking and, like, this, and I can barely open my eyes. He goes, who cares what people think? I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm, like, the advocate of who cares what people think. I'm, like, waiting in the waiting room. Okay, but wait. When I was talking to the guy, because when you first get into the emergency department, you have to, like, tell him what your symptoms are. They check your blood pressure. They ask you, like, all these questions, if your addresses are right and stuff. And when because I was now sitting on a chair, Dalton was standing behind me. He's like, oh my God, your toes are blue. My toenails were blue. I'm like blue. Where's the blue? This blue. This blue right here. My toenails were blue. And I went, oh my God. And at that time, I was feeling a lot better, I should say, because I thought I was actually gonna die. I was a little bit of tingly just on the very tips. Not numb, not like my whole hand anymore, just the very tips. And I was just shaky and kind of just like, felt like I just went through a lot. That's all. Like, but I felt fine. And I was like, oh my goodness, what is that? And then the nurse kind of like looked or whatever, typed something in, said, go have a seat. And then showed me where the bathroom was in case I had to puke again, gave me like a little puke pail. I didn't puke again after that. I didn't feel sick. Like, I kept telling everyone, like, I'm almost fine. Waited an hour in the waiting room. Then they called me in, went to a bed, got my blood pressure checked. Everything was completely normal. All my tests came back completely normal. I waited another hour to see a doctor, so this time it's closer to like 2 a.m. or like 1:30 a.m. So the doctor comes in, I explained to him exactly what I just explained to you guys, and I was almost crying when I said that I thought I was gonna die. Like, this is a serious issue. Like, I honestly thought I was gonna die. And you know what he said to me? And I didn't even think that this was gonna happen at all. He's like, you are basically describing the perfect textbook explanation to hyperventilation. And me and Dalton both looked at each other like, what? What? Really? And then he goes, and I'm like, yeah, but I couldn't move. Like, I was paralyzed. I couldn't move. Like, I was like, so I had to position the camera. Basically, he said it's a classic case of hyperventilation. And I just went, like, my hands are numb. Like, what are you talking about? Hyperventilation is not like when you breathe in a bag or whatever. And he said, yes, you should have been doing that. And I was like, but I couldn't move my hands. I couldn't go get a bag. How are we supposed to know that it's hyperventilation? Like, I thought like hyperventilation honestly wasn't that bad. I just thought like, something that's like, oh, like kind of, I have anxiety attacks and they can get bad, but not anywhere near as this. So that's why I was like, what? And he said, yeah, basically you're losing a lot of carbon dioxide too quickly and you're not taking really anything in. So your body goes into overload and it goes all over the place. Like, what is going on? What was that sound? I heard like a ding, ding, ding. It wasn't my phone. My phone's on silent. Okay. My levels in my body were going insane, just like anyone else who's had a hyperventilation attack before. He's like, basically hyperventilation is when your fingertips or hands go numb or tingly. Same with the feet and then the oral cavity. So then your mouth, your lips, you go sometimes even around here, tongue, sometimes it can go down the throat, but that's where it is. And he goes, and that's where all your symptoms were, exactly were. He goes, so I'm not worried about that at all. That's hyperventilation. What I am worried about is your pain that you had before the hyperventilation. So basically what happened to me was the pain that I was feeling in my stomach caused the hyperventilation to happen. Okay, let's just stop and say that I was floored. I was like, what? That was hyperventilation? I thought that I had some serious medical condition that I honestly thought I was gonna die, and he's telling me I just had a hyperventilation attack. Now, I don't want people to think that it's an overreaction. If you guys have had a hyperventilation attack, please let me know in the comments down below. Was it that severe? Do you get them often? Or I'm just trying to help people if they are going through something like that where they think that their like body is paralyzed, and maybe it is a hyperventilation attack. It might not be. So please go consult your doctor if there's anything foreign or weird happening within your body, on your body, to your body. Always consult a doctor. But I'm just trying to help people in that if they have had this happen to them, or if they had similar things like this, or maybe in the future, like I've never had this happen at all, before in my past. So I'm like 25 and I've had sicknesses before, I've had pain before, and all of a sudden I'm getting this. Like I was so, floored about this. So I'm just trying to help people because I know I have younger viewers who have a whole life yet to experience. So if this ever happens to you, maybe you are hyperventilating. So what he told me, what I could do is just calm down, chill out, and try to get my carbon dioxide levels, back to normal. So basically you breathe out carbon dioxide. So when you have a plastic or a paper bag and you're breathing those, you're regulating your breathing so that you can calm down and get your levels back. So when my body was finished hyperventilating, and that's the reason why I threw up. So my body, because it was going on all these levels and it just went back to normal, that's when the body was like, what was that? And then that's why I threw up. That is why my fingernails, I couldn't see my fingernails blue, but my toenails were blue, like blue. So that is why my oxygen and, what did he say? Some other levels were completely out of whack, and that's why that happened. It was like cutting off things. But he's like, I'm not even worried about that at all. I'm worried about the pain that you were having. I was like, cool, I'm not worried about it at all. So I'm so thankful that nothing was seriously wrong, and it was kind of just like a whatever thing that happened to me. So I just thought I would come on and let you guys know what I experienced, because I always thought hyperventilation, like I said, was just like, oh yeah, hyperventilation. I never knew that it was that severe, like when you actually experience it for yourself. He did tell me that some people experience it greater than others. Some people will just experience like fingertips, but it's basically your body's response to anything. It can be anything. In my case, it was the pain. My pain was so severe that my body levels were off. So what the pain was in my stomach, they don't know for sure, but they ran tests and stuff, because everything's always completely normal. My blood work's always like phenomenal and perfectly fine. My blood pressure's always great. My heart rate was just a little bit up when they first got me into the doctor, just because like I was going through such a traumatic thing, but then it went back to normal within the 2 hours that, I had waited the hour to get in and the hour to see the doctor, and my heart rate was then now normal. It was such a severe and a scary moment in my life, and I'm just so thankful that it actually wasn't something severe. It was something quite normal. If I can feel that coming on again, if I feel the fingertips in my hands going numb, I can prevent it or slow it down, or not freak out and think that I'm gonna die and rush to the hospital. I can calm down, relax, like breathing techniques, and just chill out. If you are dealing with this and you need help with it, like let's just say you get these attacks like every day or so often, go see a doctor. Maybe they can prescribe something for you or help you out. Maybe some breathing techniques like my doctor showed me. Just like try to get help if it is like hindering your life, if it is something that's like a negative in your life and it is bringing you down. But I've never experienced this before, not even slightly. So for it to just happen like that, it was insane. Like I did not know what was happening. So it's happening, everything is good now. Like I'm not in any way sick. Anyways, so the sickness or the pain that I was feeling was gas. Okay? I was like, what? But I wasn't farting. Like I wasn't farting, or I wasn't like pooping or anything, or it wasn't even, nothing. He said, because, I don't really know how to explain this. He said the compression of the gas, if there's like a big gas bubble in there, that can cause serious pain, because it's almost like squeezing and squeezing and squeezing down to get out of you. Hi, yes. It's like, the gas is trying to get there. So if it's like a big gas bubble, it's trying to get down there. And I was eating a lot of gassy foods that day, such as like cauliflower. I had some cauliflower in the day, and that's very gassy. And then we had beans and cauliflower and all these like gassy foods. So I've had gas before. I'm like, oh, okay, that's gas. But this was just like kind of like a bad case of gas, which is also nothing to worry about. It just came out like normal. So nothing at all is wrong. So that's what I'm trying to say, is something that's like severely wrong, try to just calm down in that moment. And if you feel like you need medical attention, go. But just like calm down and chill out and relax and try to see your results and just chill out, try to get help if need be. But if something like this happens to you, I just wanted to let you guys know it may be hyperventilation. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, just trying to help and share my story because it was quite horrific when it was happening. So that's basically my story. I needed to share it with you guys because it was horrible. My camera's flashing, so I'm gonna get going here. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. You like to hear story times. And yeah, that was my story time. And I thought it was gonna be something so wrong. I thought something was gonna be so wrong with me. I thought like I had some sort of like, I thought maybe I was gonna become paralyzed like in a few hours or a few days because I was paralyzed. I couldn't move. My hands were like flipped up like this and I was like this and I went unconscious. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great weekend, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye guys. I blow. Own it. Putting on false lashes. I love false lashes. I love the look of false lashes. I don't wear them that much for, you know, a couple reasons. These are my natural lashes and they are quite decent. They